Last Friday, I bought this abandoned Victorian home, despite everyone telling me not to.
Do not buy this house. We're not going to make any money.
And I'm going to try to prove them all wrong and take it from this to this, or something like this. But we're 6 days in so far, and nothing is going according to plan.
That's why the shit's foggy, because it's drunk the whole time.
So in this video, I'm going to document the entire start to finish journey, every single cost. There's something I didn't mention yet. As if this wasn't already hard enough, we only have 90 days to renovate this place. Why? Why such a tight timeline, you might ask? That's a great question. Well, because I had to borrow the money for this renovation, and my investor plopped down $100,000 for me to do this. He said, listen, you have 90 days to get it done, or else I'm going to charge you a fat penalty. So the story of this house is just as crazy as the deal I had to make to get it. So this house actually sat on the market for a while and no one bought it. And you might be saying to yourself, how is that possible? Because I can see it. It looks quite nice. You're right. And you're also wrong. The floors are almost a foot different height-wise, depending on where you are in the house. It almost makes you seasick to go inside. And then on top of that, all the windows are not operable. Nothing, you can't open a window. To make matters even worse, on the inspection report, because we did get an inspection report, there was a foundation issue. So right there, those are thousands of dollars of repairs. Luckily though, I thought I saw something that other people missed. Comp was $505,000, or ours was listed for $300,000. So not really a terrible spread. So let's talk about the numbers, because the contractor quoted $77,000 in labor for this. The materials we priced out at around $20,000 to $25,000, and that includes appliances, cabinets, everything else. So currently we're at a total of $115,000. It's only been a week. Remember, it was only $100,000 that we had from the investor for this project, and we're already $15,000 over it. It feels like every time I blink, like another $10,000 disappeared. And no sane person should buy a house like this with such a financial obligation. Yet here I am doing it. So you might ask yourself, why? Why are you here doing this? Well, I have two reasons for it. Number one, look at this house. There's almost never a chance in real estate to buy something as historic and interesting, where you can put your creativity into it, where you can also go and find the backstory to it. And this house has an insane history, and I'm still digging up more secrets daily. Neighbors literally drop by to tell me stories. There was a guy that came last week in a 1950s style pickup truck, and he slowed down. I thought he just wanted to look at the house, and said, hey, I used to live here. I said, that's amazing, very cool. I said, do you want to come in? He said, no, I'm fine out here. I'll just stay put. But I have a box of history about this house that I think you should see, which sounds really creepy. But I chose to make it, in my mind, a happy story. And I told him, yeah, okay, I'll look at it. And he has not brought it back. Jury's still out on if it's a good history or bad history, but that's not the point. The point is that this is extremely unique, and most of the time you just get these standard cookie cutter houses. But more importantly, I think the real reason I bought this house, it reminds me of a house that I bought before, and that house completely destroyed my life and my business. I was renovating a historic house just like this, almost the same layout. Honestly, it's kind of spooky. And I bought it to make it my grand masterpiece of house flip. Going to buy an old historic home in Charleston, South Carolina, and renovate it just how I wanted it. And so I did. And it was beautiful. It was brand new tiles. It was a brand new HVAC, 2 new HVACs, because it was a duplex. It had a new roof. It had the best water heater. It had all new appliances in both kitchens, all new cabinets, all new layouts. I took this old historic house and made it into some sort of brand new construction cookie cutter home. And when I went to sell it, the buyer said, this is not cute, it's new, but I don't care, I'm rich, I don't need new stuff. I don't need to care if an HVAC breaks. I'll just buy a new one. So moral of the story, renovating for rich people equals less stress and more creativity. Although I don't love to do it morally, but there still is a lesson in there. Why the hell are you keeping that? Is probably a question that you're going to ask yourself throughout this series. And I'm going to tell you, these mantles, you see this wood mantle right there? That is a historic gem. And they will stay with this house if it's the last thing I do. No mantles are being moved, or no mantles are being relocated. They'll be moved, so we take off the drywall and then we'll put them back. You know what else doesn't get done in a historic house? Painting mantles. These mantles are over 100 years old, and they're not going to be painted by some trendy new fab color that Pantone or whatever chose in 2025. not going to do it. They stay all wood.
Okay, let me tell you what we want to do up here, and this is what we're thinking in terms of the design.
Something we have not been able to figure out is what to do with this trunk room. If you're unfamiliar with the trunk room, it is where people back in the day used to store their trunks. Originally, we we're going to try to make it a third bedroom, but with that space, there's just not enough. There's just no way. So we came up with the idea to do something a little crazy. But of course, it's costing more money out of our budget.
Oh my God. Okay, coming into this room and making that a big closet. So we are going to wall this off, we think. Wall this right here. Make this a closet for that master bedroom and make this just like a really cool, like Sex in the City type sitting room. Kind of like a boudoir kind of thing, so to speak.
Okay, they smashed it out in a hurry, and they charged me another $5,000 to do this. And I want y'all to look and tell me if you think it's worth it. All right, Aaron, here, and then you come in. Then we have this little like area, one door there, one door here, and then you come right in. And then you have your massive fucking,
look at this.
Bam! Massive fucking closet, which goes into your other massive fucking closet.
This is awesome.
As is so typical with real estate investing, as soon as one celebration ends, another challenge begins. And this next one has the potential to cost a lot of money.
Then we're thinking is going to be the big bathroom for all of upstairs. This second bathroom, we're going to get rid of the full bath part of it, but we will be able to keep a half bath of it.
We demoed both of them, but they were both small and you couldn't fit exactly what you wanted to. Another historic element of this home is a clawfoot tub, and I'll be damned, I'm keeping all the history in this house, and I just couldn't do it with two bathrooms back to back. So I had to do a change order, which cost me $5,000, and we blew out the wall, and we're making one big bathroom suite.
Aaron, so
look at this. I think it looks absolutely amazing.
Laundry in there, shower right there, and then tub right there. We're going to put a double vanity there, but it's a little tight. What do you think?
And we also have the 1908 original door from this house, and we could not figure out what to do with it because I am terrible at designing things. So we asked Instagram what to do with the door, came up with a great idea of putting it on the bedroom that leads to the back porch. I thought that was an amazing idea because you couldn't put it inside. It was an exterior door, and you didn't want to put it back originally on the house because we already had a door. Okay, we are back downstairs in the kitchen area now, and it's about to get even more expensive. So now would be a good time for us to have a little catch up about the numbers. Last time we checked in, we were at about $115,000, reminding you that the budget was only $100,000. Since the $115,000 though, we had to open up the shower and do more demo in there. So that's another $5,000. And we did another $5,000 of a closet. So we're now at $125,000 in our budget, which is not good. That's 25% over, which is absolutely terrible. On top of that, we're having them open up the kitchen as well. And I can't even remember if that was included in our change order budget already, or if I'm still waiting on the invoice with that. I know that they're doing an entire island, a custom island for us. And honestly, since I know what's coming, the biggest surprise expense, you're going to see it in this episode, but it's still yet to come.
I wanted to call for the order that Dean was working on, for the cabinets that they all pulled forward and everything. What happened with that?
Every real estate investor has their favorite days, the days when they feel like they're actually making progress, the day that they feel like things are moving forward. And it's different for everybody. But for me, it's always been when painting happens. I don't care if they're only painting one room and the rest of the house is still down to the studs. Something about watching primer go up on a wall to me says, all right, we are actually going to make this project happen. But as you well know, I shouldn't have been excited at all because the worst was yet to come. Because I'm starting to feel a lot of similarities in these two projects. And those memories are not something I'm looking to relive. That historic house flip that I did that turned out really poorly not only hit me financially, but it also hit me mentally. I actually took a whole year off of real estate, and it convinced me that I wasn't cut out for it. I tried to go do other things. I went to a beach, tried to do some social media marketing, always just trying to start another entrepreneurial thing, but nothing stuck like real estate. And for an entire year, I just thought I wasn't born for this. And I think the harsh truth in all this is that you can't sit around after a big failure and just wallow in it. I could have just written down my mistakes in 10 minutes and maybe taken a week off, gone to the beach, and then just moved on. But instead, I let it paralyze me. I sacrificed a year of experience, a year of deal making, a year of working with people that I like, and a year in a business that I find challenging and I enjoy and I want to pursue. And that is the worst part. Had I known then what I know now, I would have called up a friend or paid some money and called a coach. But I didn't even think to do that. That's how bad my mentality was. So that's actually something that I do with people now. I do coaching with them, and it's in hopes to save them from some of those big mistakes that take them away from something that they love. Those big mistakes that rob them of time. They're going to happen whether I coach you or someone else coaches you, but it's all about figuring out a way to come back from that and to stay in the game. And that is something that we talk about all the time with the people that I'm coaching. So if you're interested in that, link in the description, whether it be from me or someone else. I think it is worth every penny to do it because you get to learn from all these expensive, timely mistakes that other people have made. And you don't have to have the same learning curve that they did, which is a huge blessing. Speaking of mistakes, let's talk about this exterior paint color. And I have not picked the exterior paint color. We obviously cannot leave it blue. So as you can see right here, once again, I'm letting Instagram design the house. I have no design aesthetic. Your boy has been sleeping on a mattress on the floor for most of his adult life. So I let Instagram decide. People overwhelmingly chimed in when I asked for a paint color, and they voted for light beige with bright white trim. This is us trying out all the samples and all the swaths on the house just to double check that Instagram made the right decision. The neighbors loved the Instagram decision, and everything was going according to plan until it once again spiraled out of control and is threatening to ruin this entire project.
So we are struggling to figure out what the right paint color here would be. We have a couple different options. We're thinking maybe this one or maybe this one with some white trim. Problem is, they're gonna be expensive.
So then we made a decision and we said, okay, start with the trim. So you can see right here, they are going and doing all the trim around the house white, which I think is just absolutely beautiful. It really makes the thing pop. Neighbors are affected by renovations. Sometimes they are up all night listening to the renovation. Sometimes they get woken up in the morning by the guys when they're coming to the job. So it's very inconvenient sometimes for a neighbor. And I always found a way to handle that is to knock on your doors to the neighbors, introduce yourself, and invite them into the process. There was a neighbor on the right side. You can actually see her house right here. And she was so mean to the guys, that the guys would text me every morning and say, hey, she's out here like harassing us. And one day it got so bad, she called the cops and the cops came by. And I said, oh God, I have to talk to her. So I drove there and she wasn't around, but she did text me later that night. And she said, hey, I'm the neighbor and I'm, fed up with this, this, and this. But I jumped in and I said, listen, anything that they did wrong, you let me know, we're going to fix it. And let me know any kind of ongoing complaints you have and I'll greatly address them. But then I also said, hey, listen, I need your opinion. Your house is beautiful. It is beautiful. And I love what you did with the place. We're trying to make this as nice as possible. What do you think about this paint color? And ever since then, her and I are buddies. We talk about the paint colors, we talk about the landscaping, we talk about what we like and don't like. However, her opinion did not save me from what could potentially be the worst mistake of this entire renovation process that I just made. We had all those samples painted on the house. And as soon as they dried, I said, okay, this is the one. Let's rock and roll with this one all across the exterior. I absolutely love it. They did that. And they did that in about a day. So they really crushed it. And I came back the next day and I looked at the paint color that was painted all over my house that we were already over our budget on. And I did not like it. You can see the paint color right here. For some reason, I pulled up the next day and there was just a lump in my throat. I just felt nauseous knowing that this is not how I wanted it to look. And what happened, Stephen? What, did you change it? Did you not change it? Well, I asked them how much it would cost to change it. And they said it's going to cost $8,000 to change that exterior paint color. And I don't know what to do. So you're going to have to watch the next episode because I really, truly have not made a decision yet. It would have been one thing if I hated it so much that I just had to pay the $8,000, but it's not that it's terrible. It's just not great. And that's bothering the shit out of me. So I have to really sit down and make some serious decisions about how I want to move forward with this project. And if I can live with something that I know is not exactly right. Something that doesn't cost you any money to do would be to hop on the newsletter. I have to write it. I haven't written it yet, but it is going to be fun. It's going to be about house flipping, this journey about renovating historic houses